Welcome to the Royal Rant, Royal Reviews, and guess what today's Royal Review is about? It's about the web slinging, hash slinging slasher. You know what I'm saying? It's about my man from New York City. Been running it since before the days of Diddy. Been webbing you up to walls with no pity. It's about my man's the Spider-Man, Spidey. Hey, so I just came back from seeing the new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Homecoming. No, I did not wear this shirt to the movie, for I did have a date and I did not want to seem as nerdy as I really am. So I didn't wear the Spider-Man shirt. I actually came home and put this on just for the video. True. So, let's get into it. Ow! What happened? Oh, what happened? Well, get ready for some spoilers, because oh my gosh, was this movie? I put it up there. It was pretty good. I give it some crowns. We're gonna get into the crown system on that in just shortly. Yes, I am cracking me a good cold one. All right, so Spider-Man Homecoming. Let's start this off with just saying, Stan Lee, thank you, man. This has probably been one of the most diverse Marvel movies as far as a cast goes that I've seen in quite some time. They had so many different creeds, colors, backgrounds, and origins, and that was really cool. The love interest in this joint's a black chick. Hey, shout out! What? There was some jungle fever going on up in this joint, and there was an interracial married couple, all kind of stuff going on. It was Stanley. You go, Stan. You go, Stan. And you know, he did his thing as usual. He shows up in the movie. I swear, Stan Lee, Hugh Hefner, and Morgan Freeman, they are somehow drinking from the fountain of youth. And I think what it is it runs through Hugh Hefner's grotto at the Playboy Bunny Mansion. It makes so much more sense, because you got to think about it, man. Stan Lee and Hugh Hefner have been hanging in there since like the Great Depression, dog. They've been in there. They've been running their businesses, and they've only been getting better since like 1940 something. Think about it. So, you know what I'm saying? Something's going on there. Anyway, back to this movie. So, all right, well, let's just start it out with who's the villains. Who's the villains in this movie? Vulture and Shocker. Okay? If you know anything about the Spider-Man series and Spider-Man or stories and whatnot, this basically, they're taking the first Spider-Man video game from like the Xbox, they're taking that game, right? They took that game and mixed it also with some of the storyline from the more current Avengers movies. So, and what I mean by that is you get the villains from the first Spider-Man game. So you get Vulture, you get Shocker, and then you get introduced to the fact that there's going to be certain other villains in the upcoming movie. I'm trying to go about this without saying too much, but if you're watching this, you know what you're in for. You know what you're in for. You're in for them royal secrets. You know what I'm saying? Because right now you're about to get the blowdown of what went down with the showdown. So my man Spidey, he has to face off against Vulture. Now, if you know what's good, you know what is the main adversary here against Spider-Man is not the Vulture himself, but it's the fact of the lack of terrain, the lack of being able to web around and do certain stuff. So that definitely comes into play. There's some spots, there's some real shaky high up there, ooh shit spots that Spider-Man gets into and has to sling his way out. They also incorporate Avengers in this very well. You see little pieces of little things here and there, and a lot of it also starts from the alien technology that left off in the last Avengers movie, and also the format of Marvel movies is changing. I know I'm jumping all over the place, so I'm kind of jumping to the what usually would be the end of Marvel movies, but now they're doing it in the beginnings. So what they remember how you used to sit through the credits, hey snap, you know how they used to sit through the credits and then they would have something at the end of the credits. So now they're still doing that, but now they're also giving you something in the intro. So the intro, there's a prequel basically that they do now. They do a prequel, then and so you see kind of like a pre-story or some of what's supposed to go on, kind of, right? Then they still do the thing midway through the credits, and then they have extra stuff at the very, very end. You know, just a little reward for the fans. So, all right, Michael Keaton's in the movie. He played Batman in the 90s. He plays the Vulture in this joint. Just some comic book geeky history here for you. Just some movie nerd history from comic book realm, right? So you got DC Batman original coming into the Marvel world, right? Also, one of the flunkies that's in the movie was also, I believe, in that same Batman movie. In that same one when Michael Keaton was versing Joker. That was Jack Nicholson. One of the flunkies is in this movie, I think, as well. Also, the bald guy from Jason's Lyric plays Shocker. What a fucking shocker. And they do something cool where they show you that there was 2 Shockers and then they knock it down to 1. You'll see that if you go see it yourself. Also, there's background characters. I think in the background of the movie, fuck you, I don't care, I'm about to spoil this. In the background of the movie, I'm pretty sure Black Cat is shown a few times. There's like a chick with platinum blonde hair like a few times in the background of the movie, and then also they wind up revealing who MJ is at some point too, which is really interesting as well. And you see how they do that. They develop the way that they relay or narrate the information from the movie is really good in the order that they lay stuff out. It was great. The scenes played out pretty well. There was only 1 or 2 scenes in the movie that were kind of like, okay, they didn't really have to do this. Like, there's a scene where where Spider-Man gets locked in a warehouse, and he kind of like is learning how to use his suit a little bit, like, and he's just locked in this warehouse for like 5 minutes or whatever of the movie, 5-10 minutes or something. And it's sort of one of those scenes that's like, man, that could have been a deleted scene. They could have got rid of that. There was stuff that they could have. There wasn't really much that we learned from that scene that dealt with more of the story, other than him confessing to his suit that he liked the black chick. But it was already obvious, that was already set up and already seen, so they didn't really have to do that. They also paid homages to the other Spider-Man movies, like with Tobey Maguire, in a couple different ways. One of them, they almost did the upside down kiss at one point. They also, it was another part, I'm trying to remember it, but there was another scene that they did something, and I was like, oh, they did that for the other Spider-Man. But it was something toward, it was, okay, so basically when he beats Vulture or whatever, it kind of does a thing similar. There's 2 parts that are similar to how Green Goblin, there's one scene that's similar to how Green Goblin first tried to sneak attack Peter, and that's how he wound up killing himself or whatever, right? They do something like that, right? There's a scene kind of like that. No one dies, but just something, they do something similar, so now you might catch that. And then also when he defeats the guy, there's something that's also similar to how him and Harry had to handle stuff, and then also how him and Mary Jane handled stuff in the first movie. So if you've seen the ones with Tobey Maguire, there's little bits in there that you'll notice. So they did really cool with tying together background stuff. They did shout outs to Star Wars. They tied together the different Marvel universes in different ways. And so I'm waiting to see. There's certain things I know that's going to happen in the next one. I'm trying to tell if I want to say anything or if I just want y'all to go and watch this movie. But if I have to put it on a crown system, right? Out of 5 crowns, I will give this. Before I can even give it any more crowns, guess what? So, Childish Gambino makes, aka Donald Glover. I said Danny Glover. Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, makes an appearance in the movie. Now, what is great about this is, if you know, currently within the comic book series of the Spider-Man comic, Spider-Man is black. He's a black teenager. So when they were developing and coming up with this whole story that they were going to come out with more Spider-Man movies, Childish Gambino was like, hey, I want to play Black Spider-Man. And then basically this whole web thing came out. That was a whole like beef back and forth on the internet of like, could there be a Black Spider-Man, blah, 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 and all this other stuff, right? Oh, and then Logic now has a song also called Black Spider-Man or whatever. He's just trying to jump on the train all late or whatever, okay? But anyway, so Donald Glover wanted to be the Black Spider-Man. So they were like, nah, you can't be Black Spider-Man, but we're going to set you up on some certain stuff. So what they did was have his character come in, and then I think what's going to happen is he's going to wind up being the uncle of the kid that becomes the Black Spider-Man in the later movies. And you'll see what I mean by depending on how they set stuff up. And if I remember correct, the name that they gave him, if they gave him the right name that they did, then yeah, then that's what's happening. Or it was just an allude or an homage to that just for him, so he would feel like he did get to play Black Spider-Man, but he didn't get to wear the Spider-Man suit, but he kind of got to technically play the character at a different point in time in the character's life. Yeah, I mean, so that was also one of the other things that was kind of a background shout out. Like, you got to know some history for the whole Spider-Man thing. So they put Donald Glover in there. He's got a couple multiple parts. I think he's gonna possibly wind up becoming like Spider-Man's little low-key snitch at one point, maybe. Who knows? Spider-Man also gets a what's he call it? He calls it a guy in a chair. Basically, he's like his operator for the Matrix or whatever. Gets a dude that kind of like helps him out, tells him when to go. Is like a geeky hacky dude or whatever. Think of like Kim Possible